about to go down.
It's lovely pass, and there he turns cleverly. Can he find a finish? Oh, he can!
Skill by Joshua, and a return right hand. Good counter right. Bullen is hurt. Second right hand. That clipped him as well. Now he goes in for the kill.
Well, Ricciardo is inching into the lead, and Ricciardo will win the Italian Grand Prix!
Iguodala running the floor.
Still leading the way with Canada. In there too with the Netherlands.
And Musa makes it 4 goals in 2 World Cup matches.
The Monaco Grand Prix! Ricciardo triumphant in Monza.
Through Bowden Barrett and an early touch and an excellent.
Sports Orbit. We make the world go round.
I've been given free hand to succeed. That's coming from Finidi George, ex-Super Eagles legend and current coach of Enyimba of Aba. With that, I welcome you to today's episode of Sports Orbit, coming to you live from the Leadership Podcast Studio. My name is Afa Acho, and I'll be your host today. On today's episode of Sports Orbit, we have a lot in store for you. There's the Premier League preview. We have some transfer news, and a lot more. I'm not here alone in the studio. On this episode, I'm here with my colleague, Fidelis. Fidelis, welcome to this episode of Sports Orbit.
Thank you, Alpha. Nice to be on this episode of Sports Orbit.
We see you maybe once in every 2 weeks. Hope your sojourn around the world has been,
I'm around from now,
Okay. Welcome to this episode of Sports Orbit.
Thank you.
All right, we'll begin the show right here in the Nigerian local scene where Finidi George, newly appointed coach of Enyimba of Aba, has come out to say and debunk the rumors which have been going around that since his appointment as the new head coach of Enyimba, that he has not been given the free hand to succeed. But he has come out to debunk those rumors to say that the club management has given him everything he needs to succeed. Fidelis, do you back Finidi George, and do you actually think that if actually he's been given the free hand to succeed, that Finidi will be a big success as the new head coach of Enyimba of Aba?
Well, Enyimba, of course, is one of the best sides we have in terms of the Nigerian local league. And without doubt, Finidi George also is one of the best we've had ever. Talking about the Super Eagles team, the national team, he's the one-time Champions League winner. I think in the year 1995.
Yeah, with Ajax.
Yes, with Ajax. There's no way you write the history of Nigerian football, without mentioning Finidi George. And considering that Enyimba, of course, is one of the best club, the best side we have in the local league, I think is a good match. And Enyimba, of course, they've not been doing too bad in recent time, even though they finished, I think, second, and it just concluded in Nigerian Premier League. So Finidi coming in to take over as the coach of Enyimba, I think is a good one. And even though there was quite there was this rumor that he's not been given a free hand, and at this point we've heard from the horse's mouth that he's been given a free hand to succeed in the club. And that is what every coach needs. When you bring in a new coach, you have to give them everything, all the support, give them the free hand, to succeed at the club. Because the reason why you actually brought them is for them to come and succeed in the club. Absolutely. And so I just hope what he says is right, that he's been given a free hand.
Because you know how it is in how it goes in football. When rumors start flying around, like they say, there's no smoke without fire.
Yeah, sure.
So it could be that maybe there was a kind of incident.
Sure.
But he has come out to clearly say that is not the case.
Sure. Most times when these things come out, there's always an atom of truth.
Oh.
in it. Even though sometimes before the rumor starts flying, the first person that breaks the rumor may not really get the full story as to what is happening.
Absolutely.
Maybe with the little they've gotten, they just like, oh, based on personal perception, perception, they just like, okay, this is what is happening. But since Finidi himself has come out to say, oh, he's been given a free hand, then we just have to go by what he is saying and hope he actually succeeds in the club.
In his words, he came out to say, all I know is that I have been given a free hand to succeed at Enyimba, and I'm ready to prove my worth as a coach. My desire is to continue to perform well with Enyimba by breaking every barrier, winning every match, and succeed with the club. Away from that, still on the NPFL right here, going to the Super Eagles, Oluseyi Tope, the captain of Rangers International of Enugu, alongside 4 of his Rangers teammates, have been called up to the Super Eagles Team B, who are scheduled to face Congo DR in a friendly encounter coming up. In the last encounter we had, the Super Eagles Team B played with Mexico out there in the USA. Tope was also in that match. Also in that team, 4 Rangers international players were also in that squad that make up the Super Eagles Team B. Does that show that Rangers is a quality side for Rangers alone to produce at least 4 players for the home-based Eagles? That tells a lot about the kind of side that Rangers
Sure.
is.
For the not one, not two, up to 4 players coming from a single club. That shows they have quality players in the club. If you have 4 out of 12, it's not a bad one. Those 4 can actually do something extraordinary for you to win your games. Talking about their last outing against Mexico in the US. Even though they actually lost that match, but that's one of the benefits of fielding your local based players in, even though they are friendly competitions. That's one of the benefits, because it's actually from that match we got to see that we have players like this, who we could have confidence in. Talking about the local side. So I think Oluseyi leading the Super Eagles Team B is not a bad one. And at this time, I think this is the time for him to shine. Okay, after the match against Mexico, now this one is coming out and he's the one leading the team. This is the time for him to shine and try to get his shirt in the national team.
So, are you expecting the Super Eagles Team B to perform better than they did last time out when they played Mexico? Yes, they lost. Some people have made different, comments about that game. But to me, I thought it was really a poor performance. I don't know if it was due to lack of experience. Maybe the Mexican side were more experienced. But of course, you can't really blame them, because even going by local league standards, you cannot compare even the Mexican league to our NPFL here. So could that really be a factor that affected the home-based Eagles?
Actually, there are lots of factors. The first being that the Mexican side, they actually featured most of their top players in that match. But our own coach decided to field most of the local players.
One of the main reasons why it was like that was because most of our Euro-based stars, the league had just resumed, and they're engaged, club commitment. So a lot of the clubs at that point were even reluctant to release these players.
But and also, these players, talking about the local side, going to play against Mexico in the US, over there, the facilities there are quite standard enough, But here, they just try to manage. So it's like
not to cut you, Mexico shares border with US. So for Mexico, it was more like playing at home.
But these guys, they had to cross some
thousands of miles,
thousands of miles away from home, and playing in a facility that is quite better than what you are used to. It would definitely take them time to adapt. But not, even though they lost the game, they say the biggest room in the world is the room for
improvement.
No matter no matter how good you are, there's always room for improvement. After that game, I think this one is another room for them to improve on themselves and grow.
Still on the local scene, this time we're going straight to Yanagoa, the Bayelsa state capital, where Daniel Igali, the Commissioner of Youth and Sports in Bayelsa, has come out to clarify and debunk the rumors going around that the stadium was banned by CAF. There have been rumors going on ahead of the Confederations Cup, which Bayelsa United is supposed to play against CS Faxian of Tunisia. This rumor came out some weeks ago that the stadium was not approved by CAF. According to those who were flying these mischievous allegations, said the stadium is not up to standard, so he has been banned. But Daniel Igali, the sports commissioner, has come out to say that wasn't the case, that actually that a certain contractor wanted to, wanted some government patronage to do some works on the stadium, but he was turned down, and that's where these rumors actually came out to fly. What do you make of this? Like we said earlier, when rumors like this start flying out, sometimes something could just be brewing under.
Personally, at this point, though it's still an allegation, all right. But at this point, I really don't want to care whether it's an allegation or it's a verified fact, at this time, because for something like this to be coming up, there could be an atom of truth, like we said earlier. And also, if we can't be so sure about the state of our national stadium, how then can we be sure about the state of the facilities in the Bayelsa Stadium? These things are coming up because there is no confidence in the state of our in the facilities in our stadium in the country. Because even before now, this is just coming from Bayelsa, but before now, even from our national stadium, there's been a series of issues like this coming up, that the facilities in the national stadium is nothing to write home about, they are dilapidated, But now this is coming from Bayelsa. If we can't be so sure about our national stadium, how can we be sure about the one that is far from us,
Exactly.
Because once in a matches do go on in the Bayelsa Stadium just once in a while, right? But the national stadium, which every eye sees, which there are lots of activities going on there, we are not sure of it. Then how come can we be sure about it?
No, but the commissioner, Daniel Igali, has come out to say that is not the case. And from the pictures, if we have that on the screen, from the pictures, you can see, well, we could say it's just an image, but from the pictures we could see from our screen, the stadium looks quite okay. Looking from here, but except maybe I see it in person, I might not be able to conclude 100%.
Sure. From the picture we are seeing, and this could be an old piece, Seriously. But another thing is, at times is when an inspection team is coming. That's when there will be, this rush to renovate the stadium, make sure everything is good because an inspection team is coming, or because there is a match that is going to take place in the stadium. Then after the renovation, after the match, after the inspection team is gone, everybody just, everybody goes home. See, when another rumor flies again. It's just issues like this shouldn't have come up if there are serious if a lot is going on in the stadium. Issues like that are coming up. It's because the management seems to not really care about the state of the facilities in our stadium. That's why issues like these are coming up. I mean, it's really sad, It's really sad.
Absolutely. It's really sad that's coming from Finidi. All right, still on the local scene, but we go to Nigerian players abroad, where Alex Iwobi has come out to say that his game has improved under new boss Rafael Benitez. Even though Iwobi is yet to taste plenty of action with coming, but he has come out to say that the training regime that Benitez brought to Everton is quite different from what he has experienced in every club he has played. Do you agree with him that his game has improved, even though we are yet to see much of him this season? So sitting from here, we might not be able to give a proper assessment of the improvement he's talking about.
Personally, I think one of the improvements, which of course matters, is your relationship with the coach.
Oh.
All right, because that will actually determine how every other thing will stand on. If your relationship with the coach is not good, no matter how you train, it's just like you're wasting your time. So for you to have to say that uh, his experience there has improved.
Yeah.
So he's the one saying it.
Oh.
We can't doubt him, even though, like you said, we've not really seen much of him. But we can't doubt him, and we hope um, when we get to see him, we hope he'll be able to prove to us that really, he has improved. So,
All right. When we see Iwobi taste more action under new coach Rafael Benitez, we will know if truly there's been an improvement in his game. Just stay with us. We still have much more in store for you. We'll see him and simply can't stop scoring. The Premier League preview is coming up. We have a bit of some transfer business. This and many more will bring to you once we return from this timeout. Don't go nowhere.
About to go down.
It's lovely pass. The nearly turns cleverly. Can he find a finish? Oh, he can!
Skilled by Joshua, and a return right hand. Good counter right. Bullen is hurt. Second right hand. That clipped him as well. Now he goes in for the kill.
Well, Ricciardo is inching into the lead, and Ricciardo will win the Italian Grand Prix.
Iguodala running the floor.
Still leading the way with Canada in there too, with the Netherlands.
And Musa makes it 4 goals in 2 World Cup matches.
The Monaco Grand Prix. Ricciardo triumphant in Monza.
Through Bowden, Barrett can an early touch and an excellent.
Sports Orbit. We make the world go round.
Welcome back to Sports Orbit, reaching you live from the Leadership Podcast studio. Before we went on the break, Osimhen simply can't stop scoring as the youngster scored a brace in Napoli's win over Sampdoria. Napoli won that game 4-0, and the Nigerian striker scored twice in that game. With this win, Napoli has now toppled Inter to claim top spot in the Serie A. Good one for Osimhen, I must confess. I mean, this is his third goal in 2 matches for Napoli. Right from the preseason building up to the start of the new league, Osimhen has been in imperious form, and he has taken that form right into the Serie A league. Good one, I must say, and this should be, to the benefit of the Super Eagles eventually.
surely, it's a benefit to the Super Eagles, because when you talk about improvement, Osimhen is just that word improvement. When you talk about a player that has improved, and when you wear the number 9 jersey as a top 9, you have just one responsibility: to score goals.
Absolutely.
And that is what Osimhen is doing. I'm not surprised. We all know Osimhen to be a very good striker, and that's the reason why Napoli came for him in the first place, because he was actually performing.
And actually splashed some big money to sign him.
Yeah, sure. They know he can do this, and luckily for him, he hasn't disappointed the club, because he has really rise up to his responsibilities when it matters, and he has done that again. 3 goals in 2 matches, and I think he has about 5 goals now in his last 5. 3 games with Napoli. That's a very fine one for Osimhen, and we hope he continues in this form. I can't be surprised if he goes on to do what Lukaku did last season. He can just continue and give them the league. He can continue and give them the league. If he continues in this form, there is no doubt that Napoli will be the major contenders for the league this season. And they can just as well go on and win it.
And with his form, blistering performance so far, do you see a situation where some other top guns in Europe will come knocking at the doors of Napoli for this young man's signature? Not forgetting that just last week, Napoli actually came to slam a very high buyout clause on Osimhen. I think they did that just to forestall any attempts by some of these European big, because with his performance, I can assure you that a lot of teams are watching. And by the if he continues in this form, by the next season, he's staying at Napoli, I'm sure will really be a battle for Napoli to keep him.
When Lukaku left Chelsea, right? Everyone shifted their attention away from him because he's gone. He really can't do much. But when they see that he has delivered in Inter Milan, right, the whole attention switched back to him, and Chelsea actually went for him. Like, this guy is good, let's bring him back. I can't be so surprised if other big club comes for Osimhen, especially now that he's in top form. And every club wants a top 9 like this to be scoring goals for them.
Absolutely. For
Man United to go back to sign Ronaldo, that's the reason why they went for him, because he can score goals.
Yeah.
And I can't be surprised if they as well go for Osimhen at this time. And when you are doing well, your release clause has to increase.
Absolutely.
Right? If you look at Mbappe, Haaland, their release price all of a sudden just skyrocketed, and that is what Napoli is doing at this time, because they know that clubs will start putting their eyes on Osimhen at this time, and then Napoli, they can't afford to lose Osimhen at this time, because he's just the one there delivering the goals for them. Right? They can't afford to lose him at this time, so they just had to increase his release clause. And as a player, definitely, you don't just you're not expected to just sit in one place. Yeah, he has to move to bigger clubs. Get tougher competitions, bigger challenges. And try to show yourself. Even though a lot of people say that is what Ronaldo did in United, which of course didn't work out too well. Did in Juventus, which of course didn't work out for him. But there is always that bigger challenge coming for you, and he has to move to bigger clubs, but maybe not quite at this time. As time progresses.
As time progresses, we'll see how that one pans out if Osimhen will actually move to a bigger club when they come knocking on Napoli's doors. Now we'll head straight into the transfer market, where Man United is in the news again, and reports reaching us suggest that United are focused on bringing Erling Haaland and Declan Rice to Old Trafford next summer. In spite of the big signings United have made this season, Sancho, brought in Brani, of course, and a sensational return back to Old Trafford for Cristiano Ronaldo. Looks like United are still not done. United still want to add some more firepower in Erling Haaland, and of course solidify the midfield by bringing Declan Rice, who has shown that he is a top player when it comes to playing in the middle of the park. Do you think United will be able to land the signing? Not forgetting that West Ham have slammed a £100 million fee on Declan Rice. But for Erling Haaland is supposed his contract is supposed to run down at Dortmund this season. And unfortunately for Dortmund, but fortunately for United, his release clause when they bought him was set at just £67 million, which, in my opinion, that is chicken feed for United. Do you think this move will happen? Not forgetting that other clubs have also been put on red alert, knowing that Erling Haaland release clause is just £67 million.
At some point you have to just consider it's not really about having the funds to go after players, right? Or just going after players. At some point you have to consider, when you finally get those players, how do you play them?
Absolutely.
How do you play them? Imagine you have Ronaldo, now you are going for Erling Haaland.
Don't forget that Cavani is still in that team.
Cavani is there.
He hasn't even started playing yet because he's still struggling with fitness.
Of course.
Rashford just came back from his surgery.
Yes.
Yet to get back fully into the team.
Okay. Then Bruno Fernandes, before Ronaldo came, he's the one that has been scoring goals for them.
Yeah.
All right. Bruno Fernandes as well is also there. And now you are bringing in Haaland. When you bring in Haaland, are you going to bench Ronaldo for Haaland?
Someone will have to be sacrificed. It might not be Ronaldo,
And
but
Haaland at this point of his career, he shouldn't sit at the bench.
so Haaland will walk in straight into the first team of any team in Europe.
Then, because Haaland, of course, is a goal scorer, which
A goal machine.
a goal machine, all right. And that is the same reason why they brought in Ronaldo, which of course Ronaldo has been scoring goals for them. You know, I think 3 goals in his last 2 games. Yeah, 3 goals in the last 2 games. You know, you can't afford to bench Haaland for Ronaldo, and you can't bench Ronaldo for Haaland. So there will seem to be quite a conflict in your attack. All right. So I think what they should have done is, okay, they might place him under their radar. Like, okay, in the next 2-3 years, we may try to bring in Haaland. At that time, maybe Ronaldo's contract would have been, coming to an end. They will bring in Haaland because you can't afford to bring in Haaland and keep him on the bench.
But the fear is that if they allow Ronaldo's contract to run out before bringing Haaland, they might miss out on him because by then, one of the other big guns in Europe might have snapped up his signature by then, so they might miss out on the striker.
If you consider that missing out on Haaland, and that's enough reason for you to bring him in, it means you are placing his career at stake. All right, because you can't bring him in and keep him on the bench. No, Haaland is not a person that you bring and put on the bench. He has to score goals, and that is what Ronaldo is doing. And there is no way you can field the both of them in the unless you are playing a 4-4-2 formation and you put Ronaldo and Haaland. And there will still be conflict because Ronaldo will want to score, Haaland will want to score. So there will be problem. Let them just see how they can, work with what they have now instead of bringing in Haaland. I don't see how Haaland will fit into the Manchester United team at this time.
We're still on transfer. Reports reaching us also suggest that Barcelona are planning a shock move for the Arsenal striker Alexander Lacazette. Is that a good buy for Barca? Do you think Lacazette is the person who Barca really needs right now, especially with the way results are going? Results have not really been going in their favor. Barca are finding hard to score goals. Is Lacazette the man Barca needs to get them back on the scoring sheet?
At this time, I think Barcelona's problem is way beyond Lacazette. Seriously, it's way beyond Lacazette. If Depay cannot provide goals for Barcelona, this man Braithwaite cannot provide goals for Barcelona, then I don't see Lacazette coming in to solve the problem of goal scoring in Barcelona. All right, because he has not even been doing that in Arsenal at this time. So I don't see him coming in to solve the problem of goal scoring in Barcelona at this time. So that's why I said Barcelona problem at this point is way beyond bringing in Lacazette. Lacazette, because if you bring in him, it's like adding to your problem. Because at the end of the day,
what do you think is Barca's problem? Is it a coaching problem? Is it a lack of the right personnel to actually carry out their vision on the pitch?
Barca's problem number one, coach, and also psychology. Since Messi left, they are still trying to build a style of play,
absolutely,
which they still haven't gotten. Because before now, when you watch Barcelona game, even if they are losing, the way they play, there's still this beauty in the way they play. At the end of the day, even though they lose, you still have something to take away from the match. Like, wow, these guys played well. But now there is nothing special about the Barcelona play. All right, it's just you give the goalkeeper the ball, he shoots it inside, everybody pursues the ball. Whoever gets the ball at the end of the day plays it back to the goalkeeper. Nothing special about. So they are still trying to see how they can craft out a style of play after the Messi era, which they still haven't gotten. And Messi leaving the club the players there, they are still not getting that over their head, like, oh, Messi is no more, because they build so much around Messi. Like, wow, they understand themselves so well. They know how to position themselves. But now they don't have it. Right? So now that's why you see in most of their games, the play just keeps running. Nothing special. Because when Messi was there, he can tell you, okay, stay here. And when he gets the ball, he knows how to play the pass. And as long as you are there, the ball will come to you. And you score the goal. But no, now nothing seems to be special about the team. So apart from coaching, psychologically, the team is down. They also need to build on that. And in terms of the coaching aspect, he seems not to know the changes to make at sometimes. Sometimes he just sit there, puts his hand in his pocket, and just hope that the team pulls up one, which of course doesn't happen like that. So it's way beyond Lacazette. Lacazette cannot solve the Barcelona problem this time. He cannot.
Well, in Fideli's opinion, Lacazette cannot solve the problem of Barcelona. Before we quickly go, we have a quick preview of the EPL matches. There are a lot of mouth-watering clashes come this weekend in match with 6 of the English Premier League. The first match of the weekend tomorrow, 12:30 noon, will be Chelsea hosting Pep Guardiola's Man City at Stamford Bridge. Man United will hope to get back to winning ways as they host Aston Villa at Old Trafford. Norwich will travel to Everton to see if they can get their first win of the season. While Leeds United will also be at home to West Ham, Leicester City will play at the King Power Stadium and will hope to get back to winning ways in the EPL against Burnley. Watford will be at home to Newcastle, while former champions Liverpool will travel all the way to Brentford. And on Sunday, the Super Sunday clash will be between Southampton and Wolves. And of course, at the Emirates, Tottenham Hotspur will be the guests of Arsenal in a North London derby. So quickly, the 2-star matches, Chelsea, Man City, Arsenal, Tottenham. Who do you see emerging victorious in these matches?
Well, that of Chelsea and Man City. In recent times, Chelsea has been the most consistent club between the two of them.
And not forgetting that Tuchel has beaten Guardiola 3 times. But the record said that Guardiola has now been beaten 4 times by one single opponent. So do you think this will be 4th time lucky for Tuchel, or Guardiola might get his pound of flesh?
You'll be beaten 3 times. What stops you from being beaten 4 times?
But his record says nobody has beat one particular person is yet to beat him 4 times. Do you think Tuchel is going to break that jinx?
If Tuchel has beaten Man City, Guardiola 3 times, then he can swear to it 4 times. So me, I'm not counting on that analysis, But looking at their head-to-head, the biggest win has actually come from Man City recent times. I think the 6-0 win against Chelsea in 2019 or something like that, and it was also in the Premier League, But in terms of consistency, Chelsea has been the most consistent club in the Premier League this time. And I just hope they will.
So Arsenal, Tottenham, not London derby. Derbies are always very close to call. Do you think Arsenal will be able to make it 3 straight Premier League wins against Tottenham, especially playing in front of their fans right there at the Emirates?
Wow, for Arsenal, the prayer for Arsenal has worked twice. And against Tottenham, maybe we'll have to pray more harder because, Tottenham, they are quite better than Arsenal.
On current form. But they lost their last match.
Yes, they lost their last match, but then you still can't take it away from them. I think Arsenal, their last 2 wins has been 1-0 and so. It's not been convincing win for Arsenal. They still not find their rhythm. But that's not quite the story for the Tottenham side. So maybe I have to give that to the Tottenham. They can still go out and beat Arsenal. So Arsenal maybe they'll still remain in their 6 points at the end of the day.
All right, Fidelis thinks that Tottenham will emerge victorious in the London derby on Sunday. Well, for now, viewers, this is where we draw the curtain on today and this week's episode of Sports Orbit. It's been a pleasure bringing this program to you all through the week. And until we come your way again on Monday for another fresh and exciting episode of Sports Orbit. My name is Afa Acho, and Fidelis, nice being here.
My pleasure.
So, viewers, until we come your way again on Monday, have a lovely weekend. Stay safe out there, and bye-bye.
It's about to go down.
It's lovely pass, and here he turns cleverly. Can he find a finish? Oh, he can!
Skilled by Joshua, and a return right hand. Good counter right. Bullen is hurt. Second right hand. That clipped him as well. Now he goes in for the kill.
Well, Ricciardo is inching into the lead, and Ricciardo will win the Italian Grand Prix!
Enyimba running the floor.
Still leading the way with Canada in there too, with the Netherlands.
And Musa makes it 4 goals in 2 World Cup matches.
The Monaco Grand Prix! Ricciardo triumphant in Monza.
Through Bowden, Barrett down, an early touch and an excellent.
Sports Orbit. We make the world go round.